boy Martin G. We're going to jump right into it tonight. We're not going to waste no time. We want to talk about Chicago Bucket Boys. A lot of you are familiar with the South Side Bucket Boys along the expressway, downtown, the city of Chicago, and we want to talk about it. So come on in real quick, and this is very vital to what we're talking about tonight. And we they're trying to cut the Bucket Boys down. And my thing is, I'd rather for them beating on a empty bucket and sitting on a crate than knocking me upside my head trying to carjack me or rob me. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense, people. We're going to get ready to go live. We're live right now. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this, and I appreciate you guys coming on here tonight. Support me. I haven't been on tonight. I've been under the weather, but I'm still here. I'm still here, and I appreciate you. Thank God for his goodness. Thank God for his mercy. I tell you, let's get right into it. The Bucket Boys in downtown Chicago are the street performers who play drums on plastic buckets to attract crowds and collect tips. They're a well-known part of the city of Chicago culture, especially around places like the Loop, Michigan Avenue, and near the Art Institute of Chicago. What Bucket Boys are? What are they, people? Let's talk about that. Group of mostly young men who sit on milk crates or buckets and play rhythmic drum patterns with sticks. They usually perform on 5-gallon plastic buckets and ask passerby for tips. That's what they do. The tradition started back in the 90s on the Chicago South Side, particularly around the former Robert Taylor homes. Some of you probably too young to remember that. All right. Now where you see it, man? They common spots include Michigan Avenue, State Street, downtown intersections in the Loop, outside tourist attraction and events. Performers often choose busy corners because they can make good tip money and tourists and commuters. And why there controversy? There's controversy. Why? Some people love them because they bring energy and culture to the streets, and others complain about the loud noise. And city officials have even discussed restricting street music in certain downtown areas. This is important to note. They are real performers, but sometimes people pretend to be bucket boys just to ask for money without performing. That's why locals often say only tip if they're actually playing music. For those of you that's tuning in tonight, appreciate you. I'm under a little weather, but I want to go back to something I just said earlier about the Bucket Boys. Some people don't like the Bucket Boys. So this is what I'm saying, people. Would you rather have the Bucket Boys sitting on crates, milk crates, with some drumsticks, playing in some empty 5-gallon buckets, beating on the buckets instead of beating on your head, making noise instead of carjacking you, beating, instead of robbing you, instead of smashing and grab, harassing you? What is it that you want, people? The city of Chicago, the tourists love them. Chicago Bulls love them. I'm telling you, some people love them because they bring energy and culture to the streets. Others complain about the loud noise, and the city officials have been even discussing restricting street music in certain downtown areas. Now, there's word that the white folks don't want our young black boys down there making too much noise. That's what we're hearing about. There's a petition going around downtown somewhere stating they got a little ordinance that they want to do to restrict the bucket boys. Now, you know, these are young black African-American male men. They down there hustling, just like any other violin playing or guitar playing or band playing or subway playing, whatever. But they don't want our young boys downtown. See, I know how some of y'all black folks think. Some of y'all black folks right now, you think just like the white man. If the white man say that yellow sun is green, you're going to say it's green. What are our young boys going to do? Hold on. If anybody listening to this, make sure you tag this to Mayor Brandon Johnson. Tell him Martin G. Johnson, the crime chaser, said, leave the bucket boys alone before you cause a greater problem. Leave them alone. These are young men down there. They're performing. They're asking for tips. And they're not out there robbing, stealing, or harassing the tourists that's downtown. They're not doing it. They've been doing it since the early 90s. Now, all of a sudden, white folks say they too loud. Black folks say they too loud. You complain about young people being on the red line. You complain about the young people coming down there training downtown. You complain about young people coming in the stores snatching and grabbing. You complain about young people walking up and down sidewalks, running up and down and nothing going on. You complain about it. And when you have a group of young men that's displaying their talent, sitting on empty milk crates with some drumsticks, beating on empty 5 gallons of bucket, and you want to go around and shut down these young black men. Isn't that a shame, people? Mayor Brandon Johnson, I advise you to leave this alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. You and your white counterparts don't appreciate good music. If you don't like what you hear, just keep walking. You don't have to give a tip. They're not forcing you to give a tip. But don't complain when one of them little young folks come up and knock you upside your head for some of your for some of your belongings, from your Amex card, for your credit cards. And we've seen numerous of videos where people get robbed in broad daylight, knocked down by young African-American male men. Knocked down. And you want to come and try to get a petition or ordinance to shut down the bucket boys? Come on now, people, make it make sense. They already don't want black people downtown, especially young people. Now, here are a group of young people that are doing something. They're down there sitting on empty milk crates. They're down there with their sticks, their drumsticks, and beating up against empty 5 gallons buckets. Now, you tell me, which one did you prefer to have, Mayor Brandon Johnson? Whether you would have the young people down there snatching and grabbing, robbing, carjacking, stealing, running in and out of stores 50 and 100 deep, which one you rather have? See, something got to give here, folks. And some of y'all black folks, you think just like these white people. They don't want black people. They gave us the highest taxes in all the black areas. Everything that we got, they want to take away. And this is not by accident. Look at our mayor. The spot shotter is gone. And we know, well, you say, well, Martin, well, the numbers wasn't adding up. Well, guess what? We need them in the black community. Real talk. We need them. You've defunded the police of $30 million. You short the police $30 million. What's really going on? And anybody know that we need the police in these hard crime areas? where the crime is hit the highest, by not by accident, but on purpose. People tag Brandon Johnson in his video. Tell him Martin Johnson said, "Leave the bucket boys alone." And if you don't leave the bucket boys alone, don't complain when you see the teen trending downtown. Don't complain when the carjacking is going on. Don't complain when the smash and grab or crash and grab. Don't complain. Don't complain about the red line. Don't complain. But you want to take away a art, someone just beating on buckets. I'd rather for them to take them drumsticks and beat it on an empty bucket than beat it on my head or a tourist's head. Somebody talk to me tonight. I'm trying to make it make sense. You say, well, Martin, they're too loud. It's irritating. You just don't believe that black people can have a good time without knocking you upside your head, without fighting and shooting. Real talk. And for those of you that have came into this live late, I'm talking about the Bucket Boys, downtown Chicago. They are street performers who play drums on plastic buckets to attract crowds and collect tips. They're a well-known part of the city's street culture, especially around like places like the Loop, Michigan Avenue, and near the Art Institute of Chicago. The Bucket Boys, they are a group of mostly young men who sit on milk crates or buckets and play rhythmic drum patterns with sticks. This is what they do. They usually perform on a 5-gallon plastic bucket and ask passersby for tips. This tradition started in 1990 on Chicago's South Side, particularly around the Robert Taylor homes. Real talk. Now, this is where you'll see them at. You'll see them on Michigan Avenue. You'll see them on State Street. You'll see them downtown intersections in the Loop. You'll see them outside tourist attraction and events. You'll even see them on the expressway. That's where you will see them at. And their performances often are chose by busy corners because they can make a good tip money from tourists and commuters. Come on, people. Talk to me. Let's help our young bucket boys. They not committing no crime. They not knocking you upside your head. It's the mayor, Brandon Johnson, picking on them. Brandon Johnson, you're going to take away all the black folks' liberty. Any little hustle they got going on, you're going to knock them out. And even the Bucket Boys, they play in the halftime at the Chicago Bulls Stadium. I've seen them. I really have. Real talk. You said, well, Martin, the Bucket Boys, they make too much noise. They down there smoking weed. Yeah, you're right. They're not knocking nobody upside the head. We don't want them down there. Go back to your black neighborhoods. That's what you hear them say. They're not going to come out and say it. So what they do, they're going to put pressure on the alderman, put pressure on the mayor. Now, Mr. Mayor, you know I supported you during your election. I gave you money. Sorry, people. I gave you money, and I just can't deal with the Bucket Boys. They're Newsom. It doesn't look good downtown. You have millionaires. You have middle-class people. They don't want to hear all that. Ghetto music, ghetto beats. They don't want that. So, Mayor, I suggest that you make an ordinance and make it against the Bucket Boys. Well, if they get caught, The first time they'll confiscate their buckets. The second time they'll get a fine. And the third time they can be arrested. Dear Brandon Johnson, leave the bucket boys alone. You got bigger fish to fry. Maybe you need to start frying on the red line where all this crime is taking place in the middle of the night. Maybe you need to be focused on taxes in the South Shore, in the Auburn Gresham area, in the Woodlawn area, in North Lauderdale, where you help raise all the property taxes. Maybe that's what you ought to fry and leave them young bucket boys alone. And tomorrow's going to be warm outside tomorrow. And you know when it get warm, our crime is spikes. It spikes up. So it's a possibility while you worry about little drum boys, bucket boys, and bragging about how many jobs you gave the young people, Brandon Johnson, you got bigger fish to fry. Leave our bucket boys alone before they join in on the teen trend, and it might not be a good thing. Real talk. We're going to take some calls. 872-299-0808. 872-299-0808. I would love for you guys to call in and comment about this. What do you think about the Bucket Boys? What do you think about the Bucket Boys? Brandon Johnson is trying to knock them out. Call in, people. My phone line's open. They're open for you to discuss the Bucket Boys. All right. That's right. Some people say, where about the bed bugs on the green line? Sharice says, exactly, Martin. Why is he worried about the Bucket Boys being on buckets? People are dying in the streets, innocent people. I agree, Sharice, right? All right. Here's another one. They taking black culture out of Chicago. Memphis, St. Louis, etc. But New York, New Orleans embraces black culture. Okay. Somebody said, get rid of the bed bugs on the red line. Divine Order said, no crime is being committed. Leave them alone. All right, let's listen. Yeah. Facts. The Bucket Boys ain't bothering nobody. All right. All right. Anna Howard said, we are at war with folks worried about removing Bucket Boys. Isn't that crazy, people? That's crazy. Here's Princess says, I love the Bucket Boys. I always give them tips, $20 tip. All right, 206 says, what's wrong with the Bucket Boys? They ain't hurting nobody. That's real talk. My white folks, I'm on downtown. Brother D, he said, we have 1,000,005 issues here in the city, and them Bucket Boys are not. Leave them alone. Man, I'm saying the same thing, D. I'm telling you. See, they want the Bucket Boys out there carjacking and all. That's what they want. That's what they want.
Has joined.
That's what they want. We got a caller. Come on, caller, real quick. Go ahead.
Hey, Martin.
Hey. How are you?
Hey, I just want to tell Brandon Johnson, the Bucket Boys not bothering nobody. They earning a earnest living, and he need to do something he need to get our people, all the homeless people, off these trains. He needs to find him something better to do.
Okay. Okay. All right. Be Red. Go ahead, Be Red.
What's up, man?
Man, what you think, man? They picking on the Bucket Boys now, man. The mayor. What's up with that, man? What's up with that? We got 1,000 problems here in the city of Chicago. They worry about some Bucket Boys that ain't robbing, that ain't killing, ain't stealing, ain't snatching and grabbing, ain't carjacking, but you worry about some Bucket Boys. Come on, bro. Talk to me.
This is typical of the type of stuff that these municipalities try to do and forget that, you know, a beautifully designed and beautiful city, like especially the downtown area of Chicago, is just breathtakingly beautiful. And when you go to cities like Memphis, and you know, Memphis used to go to Memphis on Beale Street. Here's a perfect example. The little boys used to come from the projects and the houses that are near downtown. They would do backflips down Beale Street, and I mean backflips for a city block. Little black kids, and the younger the kids were that was doing the backflips, the more the tourists would want to spend money. You know, not just spending money with the big retailers and the other street vendors, but here it is. These kids, they come from these deprived neighborhoods, and they taking what little they have and trying to make a little something out of it. They're not harming nobody. And I remember just throwing money like I was in a strip club with these young black boys that were doing backflips down the streets in Memphis. I mean, the streets would be covered with money. And these kids would pick up this little money and they go on back to their little homes and do whatever they. People don't know that if that boy make a little money, he might be able to buy himself something to eat that night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're expressing themselves without paint cans.
Preach, sir.
You know, without guns.
Uh-huh.
And this is what makes New Orleans such a beautiful place when you get down in the Bourbon Street and the men and people are blowing saxophones and playing instruments and guitars. Same thing in New York City. You know, the young white man used to walk around in his underwear playing the guitar. You remember that guy? They have made commercials off this guy. He made millions of dollars just walking around singing and playing his guitar in his underwear. And these kids have had the same effect. They've been in Nike commercials. Like you said, they've had them at halftime of basketball games because they are a draw. People want to see this type of entertainment. And here they are, the kids are doing the right thing, and then they turn around and get punished for it. This is the reward that you get for taking nothing and turning it into something. Because they can't afford drums. A good set of drums run you $800 to $1,200, $1,300. Then they don't have a space for it. You can't play drums in an apartment no more. So these kids are taking the only thing they got and making something out of it. But have they banned the white kids from skateboarding across town, downtown Chicago? I promise you, there's a spot where they got places where these kids are skateboarding, doing flips, and all kind of mess, but they're not being harassed. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me that's not noisy to hear them skates hit that concrete. But these kids sitting here making rhythm, making beats, because there's more than one or two of them, there's a problem. If you continue to destroy the black culture of your city, you will not have a city left. Chicago is the home of a lot of black culture, especially when it comes to music. And for them to take the attitude that, you know, this is just street trash and, they're disturbing the peace attitude, when what really made Chicago famous for 50 years was the sound of Chicago. The sound, the music, the rock and roll, the blues, all these art forms that came from this city.
That's right, brother. Preach.
And they all started out. Howlin' Wolf started out on the streets of Chicago with an amplifier and a guitar. And look where he took the world of music to. You destroy these kids' dreams by doing this type of harassment. Instead of you helping these kids, build them a park. Build them an area where they can do this, where you feel comfortable, and then show it out to the world and look at how our youth and how we embrace them when they're trying to do something positive. You don't call the police on them kids. Why don't you go find them kids with them guns that's breaking in these people's cars and these parking lots down here that you charge $100 for a day to park down here?
Yeah, devil. Tell the truth, brother. Tell the truth.
These kids ain't causing no problems. They're giving your city some sound. They've been giving your city what it's always had. The sound of Chicago was bigger than anything y'all ever made. Everybody caring about them funky ass hot dogs or that thick ass pizza. But the sound of Chicago rung out all over the world, and I can name 100 artists that came out of Chicago that have made the world of music made the world a better place for music. Now this is something y'all ought to be able to get behind. It need to be the men need to be down there telling the police or whoever, come on, man, leave these kids alone. Let these kids do their thing. This is positive. You may not like it, but it's positive. Because white people are walking by these kids every day and they want them getting hit in the head and getting their wallet took from them. They ain't out here committing no crimes. Let these kids be kids. This is something to be proud of. That hey, I got a city where kids can come down here and play their little music and nobody's bothering them by trying to molest them or run off with them or kidnap them. They safe. This shows that the city is safe. New Orleans does it all the time. I promise you, Bourbon Street ain't safe. You get your hat handed to you in Bourbon Street. Memphis, Beale Street ain't safe. And the streets used to be filled with money with these kids doing backflips, and the police used to allow it. And as soon as they took that away, Beale Street changed. They stopped letting the kids come down there and do backflips because they were doing them in the middle of the street, on a street that they done closed off. This is how they get down there. This is how they get down in New Orleans. They close off whole streets so people can walk and party and drink and play music and have a good time. Even the guys that stand still with all that paint on them. That shows the culture of your city. You allow a man who ain't out here with a shopping cart full of garbage asking people for money. These are just kids beating on drums and beating on buckets, like you said. A beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing. Yeah.
Please support them. Throw money on these kids. Lavish them. Because the more we pull these kids into something positive, the more they'll chase after positive. And we know they're going to chase money. So if the money they're getting is positive, they'll always stay on that. But if you take that away from us, like you said, Mark, you know what it is. Yeah. Now I'm not coming down here to hustle me $50, $60 beating on this thing. I'm coming down here with a baseball bat and I'm going to beat some ass and take me some money. I know what the money is. The money was walking by me every day when I was beating on a bus. I know what the money is. And it's a choice of the people to decide if they want to tip them kids. But when I come to a city, and I do a lot of traveling, more than you know it. I travel all over the Caribbean. I see them in the Caribbean. They out there beating sticks and blowing in bottles. I throw money at them just like if I was at a strip club. I throw money at them. And when people see that, they start throwing money at them. I remember we went to another foreign country. We were down on the other side of Mexico. We met the black folks in Belize, if you didn't know. We was in Belize, and the tour bus took us up to this raw cake factory. I'm going to make it short. And the kids were outside. They were doing backflips, and they were beating on buckets and blowing in bottles and stuff. But here we are on the bus. The white folks was annoyed, and we knew that they was annoyed. You could just see it on their faces. All the black folks on the bus start throwing these kids money. I mean, dollar bills, something that really means something in their country. A dollar means something in Mexico and Belize and these places. Trust me, they can feed somebody on a dollar. So we throwing dollars at them, $5 bills, $10 bills. You want to know something? After the white folks saw seeing us do it, that's what they did. They came out their pockets, started throwing money with us. Because it was positive. I'm gonna let you go and get you another collar for some of the people who live there. But y'all support those kids and you encourage them to continue to do what they do. And tell them to keep saving your money so you can buy you a drum set. Drummers make real good money.
That's
in
right.
this country.
That's right.
Hundreds of dollars an hour to go to a studio to beat a drum.
That's right. That's right. And for those of you just tuning in, we're talking about the Bucket Boys. I put a picture up on the screen so you know a little bit about, just educate you. The Bucket Boys downtown Chicago are street performers who play drums on plastic buckets to attract crowds and collect tips. They are a well-known part of the city street culture, especially around places like the Loop, Michigan Avenue, and near the Art Institute of Chicago. This is what the Bucket Boys are: a group of mostly young black men who sit on milk crates and buckets, and they play rhythmatic drum patterns with sticks. They usually perform on five-gallon plastic buckets and ask passerbyers for tips. The tradition started in 1990 on Chicago's South Side. Robert Tiller, started right around the project. Yep. All right. Now listen, some of the spots that you'll see them: Michigan Avenue, State Street, downtown intersection in the Loop, outside of tourist attraction and events. You'll see them on the Expressway. Performers are often choose busy corners because they can make a good tip from the tourists and from the commuters. All right. Now, listen to this, be read. Some people love them because they bring energy and culture to the streets. Others complain about the loud noise, and the city officials have even discussed restricting street music in certain downtown areas. The white folks, that boy. That's the white folks. Okay, well, nobody say in the old bougie Negroes.
Oh, yeah.
The bougie Negroes. That's what that is.
That's sad. What if they did that to Howlin' Wolf?
Yeah.
Where would the world be without his music? Where would rock and roll be?
Yeah.
Without his music? Muddy Waters. Where would Chicago be without those artists?
Brandon Johnson.
James.
Brandon Johnson.
Come on, man.
Hear me and hear me now. Why are you worried about some Bucket Boys? You need to be worried about the security on the red line. All this violent crime, gambling, drug pushing, dope selling, sex having, all on the red line. Wouldn't you think that'd be a better place to put your energy and your patrolman? You're focusing on some Bucket Boys? Come on now. Now, guess what? You take that away from them. Now, all of a sudden, now they want to get into some crime, now some street crime. The same people that's complaining about the loud noise. What if one of them Bucket Boys knock you upside your head and rob you? What if one of them boys, like B-Red say, catch you in one of them high-rise parking lot coming out and take your car and put a pistol in your mouth and kill you? What if they run into one of your business, crashing one of your business with a car and go inside your business and start snatching everything? What if? Leave the Bucket Boys alone, Mayor Brandon Johnson, and your white people. Leave them alone. And you bougie black Negroes, leave them alone. Period. I got
one better than that.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Not to cut you off. I am so sorry to cut you off. But we didn't think that one of these young men could be downtown beating the bucket. He gets put off the street. Now he's in his neighborhood sitting on his stoop and he catches bullets. When his life had ended in the hood when he could have been downtown making himself some money.
Mm-hmm.
Being where he's supposed to be and not where he's not supposed to be. I'm sorry, go ahead, brother. That's all I had to say.
Hey, brother, I appreciate that. Listen, why is it that our property taxes are so high in the black community? Why is it that we have overly aggressive police officers in the black community? Why is it that we have vacant lands in the black community? Why is it that we have failing schools in the black community? Anything that is going to destroy blacks or hinder them or gatekeep blacks, that's what they push. That's what they promote. I got to say this, brother. George Blakemore said blackface in a high place. And that's scary. When some of these politicians get in office, they always talk about what they going to do. It's almost like, I think I heard Minister Louis Farrakhan say this, that getting in politics is just like jumping in a bathtub full of dirty water. That's what it's like. It's so corrupt. It's so polluted. It's so nasty. How are you going to clean it up unless you dismantle the whole system? And that's what's going to happen. We're taking more calls, 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. Come on in, people. Come on in. This is real. Let's read some of these comments. Ryan Harris said, leave them alone. All they trying to do is make some money. All right. Okay. Negro by Blood. Okay, I looked up it and they use buckets to play music. That's what actually DC Go come from. Okay. All right. Actually, let me see. Read these. All right, let's read some more calls. All right. Tiffany Wilson says, they call the Bucket Boys panhandlers. They need to call some of the white folks down there playing the violins and down there trying to sing. They panhandlers as well. That's what they are.
You didn't tell us about that one. I didn't know they had folks down there playing that symphony.
Yeah. All that down there. Oh, yeah. Listen, okay. Drawing art, painting your face, putting making your face up and doing balloons, all types of stuff be down there doing things. They don't want to say nothing about that.
They should just embrace it, man. This is what makes people want to come to Chicago, come downtown. I would pay these boys to sit there, stand there 20 minutes and let them do their little set. And, there's 2 or 3 of them together, and they done got themselves organized to do something positive instead of something negative, and you want to piss all over their dream. That's bass apples, man.
And Brandon Johnson he got so many things to worry about some bucket boys. That's the white folks, man. White folks, leave our young, black, positive people alone. You're mad at these young boys. You're mad at them. Know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I see.
Absolutely.
Bucket boys, if y'all listen to me tonight or the morning, this afternoon, we got y'all back. We support the bucket boys. We support them. Real talk. That's real talk. Yeah, but that's all I got to say, people. I came on here. I'm still under the weather a little bit, but I wanted to come on here and talk about the bucket boys. It's a shame, brother. I would rather for them to beat on an empty 5-gallon bucket and sit on an empty crate than knock me upside the head with the crate or the bucket, or hit me in the head with the drumsticks. Which one you want, black folks? White folks? You want one of these little young African-American males meet you in your parking garage and put a bullet in your forehead or in your chest or your stomach and rob you from your platinum card, your Amex platinum card or your Rolex watch? You take your Ghost Rolls Royce? What is it that you want? Leave them alone. Real talk.
Are they trying to put out an ordinance? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Are they talking about an ordinance?
Yeah. Oh,
Was you able to get any footage of the mayor saying anything
Not yet.
this?
Not yet. We working on it. The Bucket Boys are walking around showing some materials of what the mayor is trying to do to them, trying to silence them. We got a new caller. Hey, new caller.
Trying to silence them violin players?
No, you know he ain't trying to silence them. You know that, them white folks. Them white folks. Come on, 206. Appreciate you.
No, brother, I appreciate you, man. You, B-Red, callers, and the people in the chat. Good to be with you. Good to hear from you again. Real brief. Hey, now. Real brief. I don't know what to say about this boy, Brandon Johnson, man. I just don't know what to say. The one thing that irritates me most is these white boys on these skateboards. I want to take a aluminum baseball bat. I want to put in work. And I can have it on YouTube. So let me slow down. And let me say this. This is the first time I've heard about this. And I'm not surprised because of what B-Red, you, Martin and B-Red mentioned, or you said something to this effect, that performers like the Bucket Boys, that's a part of our culture. It's a part of our presence, and it's a part of our spirit in the city of Chicago. Now, I'm living up here in the Pacific Northwest, and the city I'm in, Seattle, they got Bucket Boys here too. All of them are black. And they make a grip in the, oh Lord have mercy, in the summertime, they make a grip of money. And B-Red said that when he was in Belize, you know, people give them money, and when the white folks saw the soul people giving them money, that the white folks started emptying their pockets. The dominant society in this country does not want for us to make a buck, especially where we don't go through them to make money. And that's a shame. That's a shame. But let me just say this, and I'll be quiet. So while y'all are talking, I'm looking at this, and it looks like there's a new initiative to safeguard the tourist dollars in Chicago and to increase those dollars. I found a CBS News article. The new title is New Chicago, CBS News now. It says, New Chicago Tourism Campaign seeks to sell city and shed the perception of danger. And it's by Noel Brennan. And I won't get into details, but they're talking about there's a company called Choose Chicago. That's like a PR company. And they are advising the mayor how to do exactly that, to make the city look more yuppie friendly. I'm sure y'all are old enough to remember the term yuppies, and y'all call them bougies and then white folks. What they're doing is, in my opinion, this is my opinion now, it's saying in the article, but what they're doing is, I fear that they're just removing the black face out of Chicago. And they're bringing in not just before we've talked about the Hispanics and everything, and I ain't going to beat on that. But you got the Hindus, and you got the Asians, and you got, most importantly, you got the white folks moving back into the city from the suburbs. And they don't want to be out in the suburbs no more, and they don't want to see black folks when they come in the city. So when I look at the border, and when I pull up their website, this Choose Chicago organization, I look at their board of directors, and I really don't see us. There's a couple tokens there, but I really don't see us represented very much. So I'm concerned about this. And like y'all said, there's other people performing in the subways and train stations. And wherever I go in America, it's always the black folks that are making the most money and are the most popular. And those are the ones that the dominant society wants to sabotage and get rid of. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this one. It's an interesting one, Martin. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem. It was brought to my attention today by one of the members of Chicago Flip Red, and she said she was, I believe she was on the Metro, and the young man had brought some flyers talking about how Brandon Johnson had been trying to make some type of law or ordinance to stop them from performing downtown. So that's come on now.
Well,
That just
well, let me ask you
yes.
this flyer. Did she show it to you? Is there
No,
like
she said she
like
she
an
Martin,
initiative or something?
yeah, she said, Martin, I forgot. I would have got it. But she was just she was appalled about it. But she did call me immediately
Yeah.
and said, Martin, you got to talk about that. I said, well, I'm under the weather. I'll just come on for a little while and talk about it because I support the Bucket Boys.
Yeah.
I appreciate them because they could be knocking me upside my head. They could be putting a pencil
And they're
to my
not.
forehead, and they're not doing that.
Yeah.
They could
And they're
be
not doing that.
Right. Right.
Didn't R. Kelly wasn't R. Kelly in the subway? Didn't he get his start in the subway?
Yes,
sir.
he did. Yes, he
sir.
did. Matter of fact, when I was going to Moody Bible Institute, I used to give R. Kelly dollars. I remember. He used to play Stevie Wonder. I'll never forget. That was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
That was back in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I mean, it's just like back in the day, 206, when a lot of black young men was getting instant rich playing sports, they came up with that Proposition 87.
They sure did.
Yeah, student athlete.
Yes,
they
did.
always, anytime we excel in something, they raise the bar. They change the rules. Just like
Right. And when
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, just like with the income tax. Go ahead. With Jordan, go ahead. You say I got my thought. Go ahead. I'll submit. Go ahead.
But they came. But they. I don't mean to interrupt you. But they came up with the salary cap when Jordan and them was making all that money in the 90s.
Yeah.
They had they capped the salary. So if you got a big money player, they can use that as an excuse to pay the other brothers less. But that's not stopping Jerry Reinsdorf, who owned the Bulls, who was one of the instrumental people behind that. That's not clipping his money. Mm-hmm. He's still making big money.
Mm-hmm. This reminds me of the income tax credit. When you every year they change it. Well, you can't get it. Your child got to be under 17, or you can't use. You can only some ladies have 7, 8 babies. You can't use them all. You can only use 4. Every year they come up with some type of revision to just kill it. Every year they come up with something, and that's what white folks do. They raise the bar, just like even here on YouTube.
Yeah, they sure do.
You get them. Remember back in the day, the little young boys was getting rich off the gaming. Man, they killed all that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Them young boys was getting a lot of money off gaming, streaming on gaming. Now you can't make nothing on no gaming, not on YouTube.
Damn shame.
This is what they do.
But now check it.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
But I can't believe they're walking away from their culture, man. The sound of Chicago is really what made Chicago. Not Al Capone and the gangsters. It was the music. The music.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
The next R. Kelly might be one of them 3 young men sitting over a bucket. But you're a killing dream. And then wonder why he done went the other way.
Go ahead, 206.
You were talking about the tax credit.
Yeah.
That a mother, or maybe even a father too, I don't know, but she can have 7 kids, but she can only count 4.
Something like that.
But
I don't know what it is. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about, because I remember women in my family talking about it. Well, not my family, but older women with children talking about it. But I wonder the immigrant that came to Chicago and had a $3,000 EBT card.
Uh-oh.
I'm wondering if she was allowed to count all of her children. That's what I'm wondering.
Here go the breaks. Here go the breaks, man.
Get him.
Don't tell the rest of it.
Well, I mean, that's all I know, but I'm wondering, because you see that we are not treated the same. Someone said, I'm going to say this, I'll be quiet, but someone said this recently, and we were trying to define. We were talking about what's the difference between Black patriotism and other people patriotism, including the dominant society. And we almost simultaneously came to the conclusion that these people's patriotism and what it means to be American is to F us over and screw us over and hate on us.
Mm.
So when other people come to this country to be truly a patriotic American and believe what America stands for, a big part of that right at the root is hating Black folks.
Mm.
It may just boil down just to that by itself.
Wow. We got a new caller, Keena Nicole. Come on, Keena.
Hey, Martin and panel, everybody.
Hey.
Martin, feel better soon.
Thank you.
I'm a little, I don't know what to say. That man just irritates my whole entire solar system. You understand? So I see the Bucket Boys when I'm driving, and I agree with you, Martin. Like, these are young men, strong young men, and they could really be doing damage to people, but they're playing with the bucket, not hurting anybody. Like, if you donate to them, good. If you don't, keep going. Ain't not bothering anybody, right?
Right.
What's irritating me about him, I'm like, so you can talk about the Bucket Boys, but you just lost a whole football team. Like, what are you talking about? You understand? You lost a whole football team. A whole football team, but you can talk about a few young men that's beating on the bucket. I'm like, wow, that really has me frazzled. I'm just saying, I'm at a loss for words. When I logged on and I saw Bucket Boys, I'm like, Brandon Johnson did what? Of all the things you could talk about, tell us why those people are here. I mean, I'm still irritated by that. You know, I'm just saying, like, there's so much other stuff. I don't even ride the train. If I have to go somewhere and I'm not driving my car, I'm getting in an Uber because I don't want to get on the train, because I'm looking at the videos that they upload on YouTube and here and there. They had one car on there, Martin, one day. I'm talking about, you name it, they was doing it. Smoking, shooting, like everything. And I'm like, you talking about the Bucket Boys? Come on now. That don't even make sense to me, but I don't know. I tell you, never in a million years did I ever think I would see stuff like this in my city. I've been here my whole life, you understand? And this is just, it's just a wow factor. When I thought I couldn't, or when I thought I saw it all, here comes something else. Something else. So I digress, Martin.
Yeah, I look at it like this, people. I know I sound like a broken record, but as long as they ain't knocking nobody upside the head, carjacking, and doing all that crazy stuff, people leave them boys alone. For all you educated Black folks, oh, they making too much noise. Anything white people say, you agree with them. You get along, go along, and everything. Now, guess what? How would you like if one of the same Bucket Boys that you won't remove in front of Michigan Avenue or the Art Institute kill your son? Kill your son. Now, if your mayor have not made the ordinance to remove them, your son will still be alive. You'll look at it that way. What you gonna wait? You want one of them to meet you in the parking garage when you go in there and get in your car? Because they can't do that. They've known to do that. They known to do that. You gonna wait till one shoot and kill you? Who you praying, hoping that you stay alive to tell it? What is it that you want? I know what you want. You just want to see us in jail. You want to see us miserable. How could somebody got all the money in the world, all the land, control the water, the food, the education, the health department, the finance, and is still unhappy? What a selfish person. You got all this wealth and still unhappy. Something ain't right. You got every piece of land that's worth having. Your face is on the money. Your laws are on the books. and you're still unhappy. Something is not right, people. I'm going to tell you what James Cleveland said. Get right, church, and let's go home. You got to repent, Mr. White Man. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. When you wake up early in the morning and you want to bring harm to black people, you say, well, Martin, I'm white. I don't hang people on a tree. I don't say bad things. I don't say racial things. But guess what? You with the BS. You with it. You're with it. You're with it. You want the police to lock a black person up. Even if he's innocent, lock him up. Black people, we're being replaced. And that's another video. We don't want to go into it, but we're being replaced. They don't want nothing from black people now, especially if they can't control it. I'm telling you. Don't this remind you of something? The Alonzo Ball, when his father was in his life. Most of these ball players, their father ain't in their life. Their father's silent. When that man's sons became professionals, the white folks didn't like that. They didn't like that. They want to control.
No, they didn't.
They didn't like that, brother. They don't want the black man standing up for his sons and his daughters. They want us to be quiet, brother. Period.
Man, you see how they did Deion Sanders and his kids.
That's another example.
Yeah.
A strong black man.
Boy.
Yeah.
Man, Deion and his kids live 2 miles from my house. And when they was little kids, Deion's mother basically took care of those boys. You can see Miss Sanders in the store. She speaks. Her kids polite. Hello, sir. How you doing? The whole nine, man. And these kids were raised right. And under God's law. Deion's a Christian. He don't smoke. He don't drink. He don't cuss. And then he molded his kids, coached his kids from junior high school. Deion came up just like his kids did. He came up coaching them at a private school that he put the money up for. He coached them in junior high school, coached them in high school, took them on into college. Then first, and then take them to a white college. He took his kids to a black college.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I mean, he's done everything right, and they got this boy up there on the biggest stage in the world and clowned his ass, man. Clowned him, his whole family. And continuing to clown him. And these are good kids. What we gonna do? What we gonna do, Black America?
Black
Somewhere
America.
along the line, Martin, this got to give.
Mm-hmm.
I just seen how they did Jasmine Crockett down here in my own district. After my wife waited 2.5 hours to vote, told her she couldn't vote. If you think these white folks are playing with our ass, you better wake up again. You better wake up. Because the stuff that they put on us is something I ain't never seen before, brother. Replace us? Hell, they ain't got to replace us. They can stop us from voting. And it just happened to my wife 2 days ago. That was Tuesday. It was the day we were supposed to vote. Had to be in the place by 7 o'clock. She got there at 6:30. All the way up there 2.5 hours waiting to vote. And the lady told my wife, we can't take your vote. This is where this is going. And the bucket boys, man, they just trying to get us off the streets. Everybody got to go. This is what they're doing, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandon Johnson ain't nothing but a white man in blackface. I bet he go home every night and wash that shit off. There ain't no way he could look at these kids doing something positive and see nothing but negativity. That's demonic and evil.
Mm.
He got these devils in his ear telling him stuff. And all this is over some money. All this is over some money. Because if he wasn't broke, if he had money, he wouldn't bow down to them like this.
Yeah, but he's doing what they want him to do. That's for sure.
Because he's broke. For sure. He ain't no better than these kids right here. He's just hustling with a suit on.
Wow. All right, gentlemen. It's been an hour. I came on here with a little strength that I had. I appreciate you. Keep me in your prayers. I feel much better than I was feeling earlier today. So I'm here. I'll be back tomorrow. I promise you, even stronger. And we're going to talk about some things. But were you going to say something?
What's going on, brother Martin? You ain't feeling too good?
No, I'm not feeling too well. I know I ain't feeling too well. So
you know.
Yeah, so I'm
I pray for you.
Please do. I appreciate you guys, And sometimes the encourager need to be encouraged sometime.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. I tell you. So I had to come on here for this. I got that call. I said, man, this is the least I could do, reach for my people. And I leave the Bucket Boys alone. They love me too. They love me. And I hope they're watching. People, make sure you tag them. We support them. Chicago, Black people, we support the Bucket Boys. We do. The majority wins. We support them. So I want to thank you guys. You already know what it. Make sure you guys share the video, like and subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel. Yeah. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. 206 Be Red. All of you guys that spoke tonight, I appreciate you. Leave them Bucket Boys alone, people. We ought to get a petition and get it together and send it to Brandon Johnson. It should be about 10,000, 20,000. Get your hands off the Bucket Boys and let them boys do what they do. That's what we should do. All right, people. Peace out. Y'all already know what it is.
What is live, uncut,
and what?
Unedited. Tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.
Most of all.